Your every breath, every heartbeat, every single smile, they should all belong to me. If I ever see you look at someone else that way, I might just have to lock you away in a world that belongs only to me. After all, the moment you were first kind to me, you were destined to be responsible for me for the rest of your life. Do you remember our promise, Ash, from when we were 6? I still have the soda tab ring you gave me. If you dare forget, how about I just carve out your heart and put it right next to the ring? That way, you'll remember me forever. Just kidding. Unless you really plan on breaking our promise. I recently discovered a terrifying secret. My childhood best friend, Chloe Bennett, is a full-blown, certified Yandera. It all started last week. I went over to Chloe's dorm to help fix her laptop. While I was there, I accidentally spotted a cardboard box under her bed with importance scrawled on the side in Sharpie. My curiosity got the best of me. While she was in her kitchenette getting us some drinks, I snuck a peek. What I saw almost gave me a heart attack. The box was filled with dozens of neatly organized photos, all of them of me with different girls. In every single picture, my face was circled with a red heart, while the girls' faces were violently crossed out with a thick black marker. The most chilling part was the little sticky notes attached to each photo. March 2 ND. Successfully intercepted the love letter that girl from Chem Lab tried to give Asher. April 15th. Made the girl from the literary magazine accidentally believe Asher has a girlfriend. Here's your iced tea, Ash. Chloe's voice suddenly appeared behind me. My hands fumbled, the box clattered to the floor, and the pictures scattered everywhere. The air in the room froze. I watched as a blush crept up Chloe's neck to her ears, only to be replaced by a deathly pale white. Her almond-shaped eyes, usually sparkling with laughter, were wide with shock, her lips trembling. What is this? I heard my own voice shake. Chloe suddenly lunged forward and hugged my legs. Ash, listen, I can explain. This is all. It's all. She kept repeating, it's all, but couldn't come up with anything, finally burying her face in my knees like an ostrich hiding its head in the sand. I looked down at the girl I'd grown up with since we were in diapers, and suddenly realized that all those coincidences, every girl who ever got close to me mysteriously backing off, every anonymous love note in my locker vanishing without a trace, were never coincidences at all. Chloe, I said, taking a deep breath. That time in freshman year of high school, when I broke my arm, did you deflate my basketball on purpose? Chloe looked up, her eyes glistening with tears. That cheerleader captain said she wanted to take care of you. She was obviously just trying to get close to you. And what about the sophomore year field trip, when I was paired with the class president and she suddenly came down with horrible food poisoning? I might have put a tiny bit of a laxative in her water bottle, Chloe said, as if it were the most reasonable thing in the world. She quickly added, her voice dropping to a pathetic whimper, just a little. I rubbed my forehead, a massive headache blooming. And at the university welcome week mixer, that girl from the foreign exchange program who was about to ask for my number and then suddenly change her mind. I told her you had terrible foot odor and snore like a freight train. Chloe chirped, her face beaming with pride before she realized what she'd just admitted and slapped a hand over her mouth. My brain was throbbing. Chloe, do you know what this is called? This is called being a psycho stalker. It is not, she shot back, scrambling to her feet so fast she almost head-butted me. It's a strategic defense. None of them are good enough for you, Ash. Then who is you? I blurted out. Chloe fell silent. She looked down, twisting the hem of her shirt, her voice barely a whisper. What if it was me? I was floored. Chloe and I had known each other since we were toddlers. She was like a second little sister to me. I mean, sure, she was cute, a round face, big eyes, 2 little dimples when she smiled, but I had never, ever thought of her in that way. Are you serious? I managed to swallow. Chloe lifted her head, her eyes shining with an unnerving intensity. Ash, I'm in love with you. I have been since the first day I met you when we were 6. I broke your pencil case on purpose so we'd have to share. I wrote all those anonymous love letters you got in middle school. In high school, whenever it was your turn to clean the classroom, I'd sneak in early and wash the blackboards for you. I listened completely dumbfounded. This girl, who had played the part of the sweet, innocent sidekick for over a decade, had been running a covert operation behind my back the whole time. Wait a second, a thought struck me. If you like me so much, why didn't you just tell me? Chloe pouted. Because I was scared you'd reject me. And all those other girls were so aggressive. I was afraid you'd get stolen away. I looked up at the ceiling, speechless. What kind of twisted logic was that? Ash, Chloe whispered, tugging on my sleeve. Now that you know everything, do you hate me? Looking at her miserable, puppy dog expression, I should have been furious. But for some reason, my heart ached for her. I sighed and ruffled her hair. No, but you have to promise me you'll stop doing all this crazy stuff. Her eyes lit up. Does that mean I can pursue you out in the open? Do whatever you want. I had no idea that my casual, off-the-cuff remark would turn my life into a three-ring circus. The next morning, I walked out of my dorm and was greeted by a scene that made me want to turn around and never come out again. Chloe was standing by the entrance, wearing the same blue sundress she'd worn the day we first met, holding a ridiculously large bouquet of red roses. A circle of curious students had already formed around her. Ash, the moment she saw me, she sprinted over, nearly suffocating me with the bouquet. These are for you. 99 roses for a love that will last forever. I was cringing so hard my soul was trying to leave my body. Chloe, what are you doing? I'm winning you over, she declared. I Googled it. To win someone's heart, you have to be bold, passionate, and persistent. The crowd around us started cheering and whistling. I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. I grabbed Chloe by the arm and dragged her away. Are you insane? Why are you being so loud about this? I hissed once we found a secluded spot. Chloe tilted her head. How else is the whole campus supposed to know you're mine? When did I become yours? The moment you chased away the boys who were bullying me when we were 6, she said, as if it were an established fact. I was once again speechless. In the days that followed, Chloe's operation only escalated. She was waiting outside my dorm every morning with a different gourmet breakfast. She'd have someone pass me cheesy notes during my lectures. My Instagram DMs were flooded with a constant stream of corny memes and I love you gifs. She even showed up to my intramural basketball game with a handmade banner that read, Asher Cole is the GOAT, property of Chloe Bennett. The absolute peak of insanity came last Friday. I was studying in the quiet section of the library when a commotion broke out. I looked up to see Chloe, dressed in a full-body Pikachu costume, marching toward my table holding a giant heart-shaped box of homemade chocolates. A few of her giggling friends follow behind, tossing rose petals. Ash, the Pikachu head came off, revealing Chloe's sweaty but beaming face. I made these for you. Every single one is filled with my love. Chloe, I cut her off, my voice a harsh whisper. This is the library. Can you please, for the love of God, just be normal? Her face fell. But this is how it always happens in the rom-coms. Those are movies. In real life, this is called harassment. Then why haven't you blocked me? Why haven't you told me to get lost? Chloe shot back. I froze. She was right. I could have shut this all down. Why was I letting her get away with it? Seeing my silence, Chloe's eyes began to sparkle. It's because you like me too, isn't it, Ash? You're just too shy to admit it. Don't flatter yourself. I snapped, feeling my face flush. I'm just used to you being around. Chloe leaned in, so close I could count her eyelashes. Ash, your ears are bright red. It's hot in here. I shoved past her and fled. That night, I tossed and turned in my bed. Chloe's question echoed in my mind. Why didn't I just shut her down? Honestly, Chloe was adorable. She was fun, bubbly, and she treated me better than anyone. If it weren't for the whole Yandere thing, guys would be lining up to ask her out. And I had to admit, her over-the-top public pursuit of me, as embarrassing as it was, gave me a weird sense of satisfaction. Oh God, am I secretly a masochist? The thought horrified me. Just as my brain was spiraling, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Chloe. Ash, let's go see a movie tomorrow. That new romance flick just came out. I already bought the tickets. I was about to type, no, when another message came through. If you don't come, I'm going to stand outside your dorm and sing love ballads all night long. That little psycho would absolutely do it. I gritted my teeth and typed back, what time? 10 a.m. Meet at the west gate of campus. Good night, love you. Hugs and kisses. I stared at the screen, an involuntary smile spreading across my face. I was doomed. I was absolutely, completely doomed. The next day, Chloe was waiting at the gate a full half hour early, wearing a white sundress with her hair up in a high ponytail. She looked bright and cheerful. Ash, she waved as soon as she saw me, jogging over to link her arm with mine. You look so handsome today. I look handsome every day, I teased. Chloe winked. Every day, but especially today, because you're on a date with me. I just shook my head, but I didn't pull my arm away. The movie was terrible, your typical cheesy rom-com. Halfway through, Chloe leaned over and whispered, Ash, the main actress isn't as pretty as me, right? You're so conceited, I muttered. Just tell me, who's prettier, me or her? She pressed. You okay? Happy now? She leaned back in her seat, satisfied. A few minutes later, she leaned over again. Ash, can I rest my head on your shoulder? No, just for a little bit. Nope. Okay, then I'll just pretend to fall asleep and accidentally fall onto your shoulder. Do whatever you want. Chloe let out a triumphant little giggle and carefully rested her head on my shoulder. I could smell the faint, clean scent of her shampoo, and suddenly, the movie didn't seem so bad anymore. After the movie, Chloe was chattering away when she pointed at a claw machine arcade. Ash, I want that Pikachu. Then go win it. You do it for me, she begged, tugging on my arm. If you win it, I'll give you a kiss as a reward. Who wants your kiss? I grumbled, but my feet were already walking toward the change machine. Turns out I have 0 skills. I failed at least 10 times in a row. Chloe, however, was having the time of her life. Ash, you look so cute when you're all clumsy. Shut up. Finally, just as I was about to give up, the claw miraculously snagged the Pikachu. Chloe cheered, grabbed the plushie, and then stood on her tiptoes and planted a quick kiss on my cheek. Chloe, I touched the spot, my heart suddenly hammering against my ribs. Your reward, she chirped, grinning like the Cheshire Cat. She wiggled the Pikachu at me. Next time you win a bigger prize, the reward gets an upgrade too. There won't be a next time, but on the walk back to the dorms, all I could think about was what she meant by an upgraded reward. Monday afternoon, I was eating in the dining hall when Lauren Hayes, the so-called belle of the chemistry department, sat down across from me. Lauren was gorgeous and a straight-A student. She was basically every guy's dream girl. I nodded. What's up? Lauren hesitated. I heard that you and Chloe Bennett are dating. That's not true. I denied it automatically. Her eyes lit up. Oh well, what do you think of me? I've actually had a crush on you for a while. I wrote you a letter once, but you never replied. That's when I remembered the intercepted letter from Chloe's box of horrors. Before I could figure out what to say, a familiar voice cut in. Of course he didn't reply. Chloe materialized out of nowhere, sliding into the seat next to me and wrapping her arm possessively around mine. Because Ash's type is someone like me. Right, Ash? I wanted to die of embarrassment. Lauren's face soured. Chloe, don't be ridiculous, Lauren said through gritted teeth. Asher just said you two aren't together. Chloe just smiled sweetly and leaned her head on my shoulder. We're in that pre-relationship talking phase. Right, Ash? I was about to protest when I felt a sharp pain in my side. Chloe was pinching me under the table, her eyes screaming, dare to deny it, and you're dead. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I choked out. Lauren gave me one last, disappointed look before getting up and walking away. The second she was gone, Chloe released me and beamed. Another rival, eliminated. I'd had enough. Chloe, what gives you the right to make decisions for me? Chloe froze, and her expression crumpled. Don't you like it when I do that, Ash? That's not the point. You can't just interfere with my life. But Chloe's eyes suddenly welled up. I'm scared. What if you actually fall for someone else? I've been chasing you for so long, and you've never once said you like me. Seeing her like that, my anger just melted away. She was right. Her methods were extreme, but her feelings for me were real. And I was kind of enjoying this whole thing. Cool, he sighed. A relationship has to be a two-way street. You can't just be the one calling all the shots. She looked up, tears streaming down her face. Then will you give me a chance, Ash? A real one, not just a game. Looking into her hopeful eyes, I finally understood my own heart. I reached out and wiped away her tears. Stop crying, I said softly. I'm willing to try. Chloe's eyes lit up as if someone had switched on stars inside them. Really? So, I'm your girlfriend now. You're on probation, I said, trying to keep a straight face. A 3-month trial period, during which you are not allowed to interfere with my normal social life. No more over-the-top stunts, and absolutely no more stalking. Can you do that? Chloe immediately shot her hand up as if taking an oath. Yes, I promise. Then she threw her arms around me. You're the best, Ash. I hugged her back, a sweet, warm feeling spreading through my chest. Probationary girlfriend, day 1. What are your orders, sir? The next morning, I had just pushed open the main door of my dorm when I saw Chloe perched on the steps like a puppy waiting to be fed. The moment she saw me, she leaped up, presenting me with a hot coffee. First, I said, taking the coffee. It was the perfect temperature. No more surprise ambushes. Second, you are not to interfere when I'm having a normal conversation with another girl. And third, what's third? Chloe asked, her eyes wide with anticipation. I haven't thought of a third yet. I reserve the right to add it later. Chloe pouted. You're so tricky, Ash. But then she grinned. But that's okay. Probationary girlfriend Chloe will strictly adhere to all boyfriend bylaws. I nearly choked on my coffee. Who said I was your boyfriend? It's just a trial period. It's only a matter of time, she said confidently, linking her arm in mine. Come on, let me walk you to class. And so began our 3-month trial period relationship. It was less of a romance and more of an experiment to see if she could control her yander tendencies. For the first few days, Chloe was a model of good behavior. She delivered breakfast on time, but without the dramatic declarations. She sat quietly next to me in class, no longer trying to sneak kisses. When she saw me talking to another girl, she'd just stand a short distance away, though her glare was intense enough to burn holes in the girl's back. You've been a little too normal lately, I told her after our class on Friday. Chloe looked up from her notes. Isn't that what you wanted, Ash? Well, yeah, but I scratched my head. I feel like you're plotting something big. She suddenly leaned in close, so close I could smell the faint peach scent of her lotion. Is Ash suggesting I'm not being affectionate enough? Her finger traced a light pattern on the back of my hand. That's not what I meant. I yelped, jumping back, my ears burning. Chloe giggled. You're so cute when you blush. She packed up her notebook. Hey, let's go to the pet store tomorrow. Why the pet store? To get a new friend for your hamster, she said, her eyes sparkling. Didn't you say Nibbles seemed lonely? My hamster, Nibbles, had been a bit down lately. Still, something about her sudden suggestion felt suspicious. It's a date. Chloe decided for me. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. at the campus gate. Watching her skip away, I shook my head. That girl was definitely up to something. The next day, Chloe arrived 20 minutes early, wearing a t-shirt with a hamster graphic and denim overalls. Her hair in 2 little pigtails. She looked about 5 years younger than she was. Ash, she waved from a distance, her overall straps bouncing as she jogged over. I wore my special hamster-themed outfit today. I can see that, I said, resisting the urge to pinch her cheek. Was this really necessary? It's called setting the mood, she said, puffing out her chest. Not that there was much to puff out. Besides, I read online that taking care of a pet together on a date strengthens a couple's bond. The pet store was an explosion of fluff and cuteness. Chloe made a beeline for the hamster section, pressing her face against the glass tanks with dramatic gasps. Ash, look, the golden one is so cute, and the white one is adorable. Ah, they're all looking at me. A store employee came over. These are Syrian hamsters, very gentle. Are you looking for a male or a female? A female, Chloe blurted out, then immediately backpedaled. I mean, Ash's current hamster is a girl, so it's best to get another girl, right? I narrowed my eyes at her. How did you know Nibbles is a girl? Chloe's expression froze, and her ears turned bright red. Well, Chloe, I said in a low voice. Don't tell me you were also the one who helped me pick out Nibbles. She looked down, fidgeting with her overall straps. For your birthday last year, I kind of secretly swapped your old male hamster for a female one. Why? Because that girl Lauren from your chem lab has a male hamster. Her voice got smaller and smaller, and I was afraid you two would bond over having something in common. I sighed, rubbing my temples. This girl was unbelievable. Are you mad, Ash? She asked, tugging on my sleeve. Looking at her pathetic face, I couldn't even stay angry. Just don't do it again. Her face instantly brightened. She stood on her toes and gave me a quick peck on the cheek. You're the best, Ash. Now let's go pick out our new family member. We ended up choosing a female hamster with coloring similar to Nibbles and named her Squeaky. Chloe insisted on buying the most expensive cage and all the fanciest toys, claiming we couldn't spoil our children. Who's we? I teased. Chloe grinned. It's only a matter of time. 11 as we were leaving the pet store, we ran into Lauren. Her face fell when she saw me and Chloe together, carrying the hamster cage. Asher, what a coincidence, Lauren said, forcing a smile. Her eyes flickered to Chloe. You two are. We're out buying toys for our kid, Chloe announced, grabbing my arm. Both Lauren and I stared at her, dumbfounded. WH what kid? Lauren stammered. Nibbles and Squeaky, of course. Chloe said, pointing innocently at the cage. They're basically our children, right? Lauren's expression shifted from shock to confused, and finally to just plain awkward. Right? Well, you two have fun. I've got to go. As soon as she was gone, I burst out laughing. Chloe, you did that on purpose, didn't you? Chloe batted her eyelashes. I was just stating the facts. She leaned in and whispered. Besides, I smelled jealousy. Were you a little jealous just now, Ash? Don't be ridiculous. I pushed her away, but I could feel my ears getting hot. She just swung our linked arms happily. Don't worry, Ash. I only have eyes for you. Every other guy is just wallpaper. Am I supposed to say thank you? You're welcome, she chirped. Come on, let's get celebratory ice cream. 12 that night, after settling Squeaky in her new home, I got a text from Chloe. Ash, are Nibbles and Squeaky getting along? I sent her a picture of the two hamsters snuggled up together. Like two peas in a pod. Just like us three, she replied instantly. Easy there. The trial period just started. So what's my score for today's performance? I thought for a moment. Passing. But you'd have gotten a better grade if you hadn't said that stuff in front of Lauren. I was jealous. And for the record, it took all my self-control not to declare you as my territory right then and there. So I should be grateful for your mercy. You're welcome. Another day tomorrow, okay? Good night. Hugs and kisses. I stared at the screen, a grin spreading across my face. That girl. 13 on Monday in the dining hall. I was in line for food when I overheard two girls talking behind me. Did you hear? Lauren Hayes is asking around about Asher Cole. I thought he was with that Chloe Bennett girl. I think they're just talking. I heard from Lauren that Chloe is super controlling and Asher isn't really into it. I frowned. Where do people come up with this stuff? Ash, a familiar voice, and then a pair of hands cover my eyes. Guess who? Chloe said, trying to disguise her voice, but her sing-song tone gave her away. Chloe, stop messing around. I pulled her hands down. She was wearing a little makeup today, and her lips had a glossy shine. She looked extra cute. She stuck her tongue out and slid in a line next to me. Did I just hear someone talking about us? You heard wrong. Really? She narrowed her eyes, and her gaze swept over the two girls who had been gossiping. They immediately shut up and stared at the floor. After we got our food, we found a corner table. Chloe pulled two bento-style lunch boxes from her bag. Ta-da! A homemade lunch just for you. I watched in surprise as she opened the boxes. One was filled with rice balls, fried chicken, and a vegetable salad. She'd even used ketchup to draw a little heart. When did you learn to cook? I signed up for a cooking class last week, she said, puffing out her chest proudly. I learned just for you, Ash. I tried a piece of the chicken. It was surprisingly good. Not bad. Her face lit up. Really? Then I'll make you lunch every day. You don't have to do that. Yes, I do, she insisted. I can make you lunch to take to class, so everyone will know you have a sweet, talented girlfriend. Probationary girlfriend, I corrected. She pouted. You'll make it official soon enough. Just then, Lauren appeared at our table. Asher, can I talk to you for a second? Before I could answer, Chloe stood up with a bright smile. Is something wrong, Lauren? You can just say it here. I don't mind at all. Her words were generous, but the hand under the table was pinching my thigh. Hard. 14, Lauren hesitated. It's about the lab group assignments for next week. Oh. Chloe's eyes widened in fake realization as she looped her arm through mine. In that case, Ash should definitely be in your group. I don't mind, really. Her tone was magnanimous, but her eyes clearly said, you dare agree and I will end you. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Can we talk about this later? Lauren seemed to get the message. She gave a wry smile. Never mind. I'll find someone else. She turned and left. Chloe immediately released me and sat back down as if nothing had happened. Chloe, I whispered harshly. What happened to not interfering with my normal social interactions? She looked up, her expression wounded. I didn't interfere, didn't you hear me say I didn't mind? You call that not minding? You practically had he's mine tattooed on your forehead. Well, I was jealous. Her eyes started to well up again. When I think about you being with someone else, it hurts. Right here. She grabbed my hand and pressed it to her chest. I snatched my hand back like I'd been burned. What are you doing? We're in public. She burst into a grin through her tears. You're so cute when you blush, Ash. I shook my head, exasperated, but I realized I wasn't actually angry. In fact, her blatant possessiveness gave me a strange sense of satisfaction. Oh God, do I actually have possessiveness kink? 15 on Wednesday, I decided to test Chloe's limits. After class, I deliberately walked out with Tina, one of the prettiest girls in my stats class, and made a point of laughing and talking with her. Sure enough, not 5 minutes later, my phone started vibrating nonstop. A stream of text from Chloe. What are you guys talking about? Smiley face. Tina's perfume is really strong today. Where are you guys going? I happen to be in the area. Want me to join you? I held back a laugh and texted back. We're just discussing the weekend club event. You don't need to come over. We'll be done soon. Oh, she replied with a sad face emoji. Okay, well, remember to be back by 6. I made your favorite spicy rigatoni. Got it. I put my phone away and apologized to Tina. Sorry about that. The girlfriend is a little attentive. Tina laughed knowingly. Chloe Bennett, right? The whole campus knows she's got you on lockdown. She made a choking gesture. I gave an awkward laugh. Chloe's reputation truly preceded her. 16 when I got back to my dorm, Chloe was already waiting downstairs, holding a thermal container. The moment she saw me, she jogged over. Ash, the pasta is still warm. I put on a stern face. You were jealous today when I was talking to Tina, weren't you? She looked down. A little. Just a little. Okay, a lot. She looked up, her eyes wet. But I stopped myself from interrupting you. Wasn't that good of me? I couldn't help but ruffle her hair. Yeah, that's progress. Her face instantly brightened. Then as a reward, you have to eat every last bite, she said, pulling me toward the dorm. Watching her cheerful back, I had a sudden realization. This girl, who used to be the biggest headache in my life, was slowly but surely capturing my heart. Friday night, Chloe came down with a high fever. I was in the library when I got the call from her roommate. Asher, Chloe's burning up. She has a 102-degree fever, and she keeps saying your name. I packed my bag and sprinted to the girls' dorm. The RA on duty knew me and made an exception, letting me go up. Chloe was curled up in her bed, her face flushed crimson. When she saw me, she weakly reached out a hand. Ash, I touched her forehead. It was scorching. How did this happen? She stayed up all night, knitting you a beanie, and then she went out in the rain to buy more yarn. Her roommate explained. I finally noticed a ball of dark blue yarn and a half-finished beanie on her nightstand, the color of my favorite football team. You idiot, I chided softly. It's not even cold out. What's the rush? Chloe gave a weak smile. I wanted you to have it for the winter. A warmth spread through my chest. I turned to her roommate. I'm taking her to the campus health center. When I helped Chloe up, she was completely limp, leaning against me, her hot breath on my neck. It was raining outside. I took off my jacket, draped it over her head, and piggybacked her out into the storm. Ash, she whispered in my ear on the way. I'm sorry for causing you trouble. Shut up and save your energy. At the health center, the doctor said it was just a bad cold. They gave her a shot to bring down the fever and said she needed to stay overnight for observation. I handled the paperwork and sat by her bed. After the medicine kicked in, her fever started to break, but she was still drifting in and out of sleep. In her delirium, she grabbed my hand. Ash, don't go. I'm not going anywhere. I squeezed her hand gently. Get some sleep. She closed her eyes, and her breathing soon became even. I watched her pale face, her eyelashes fluttering slightly, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was already in love with this crazy Yandra girl. She was possessive, jealous, and pulled the most ridiculous stunts. But her love for me was so pure and fierce, it was like a bonfire you couldn't ignore. Outside, the rain fell harder. I gently smoothed her furrowed brow and made a decision. The next morning, Chloe's fever was gone. Sunlight streamed through the blinds. She woke up, rubbing her eyes, and saw me still sitting by her bed. Her eyes went wide. Ash, you were here all night. I stretched my stiff neck. Where else would I be? Her eyes suddenly welled up. Thank you. For what? I put on a stern face. Next time you run yourself into the ground like this, you'll see how I'll deal with you. She giggled through her tears. You're so bossy, Ash. She suddenly remembered something. Oh, my beanie isn't finished. You can finish it when you're better, I said, pushing her back down. Right now, you're going to eat. I took out the container of oatmeal I'd gotten from the dining hall. Her eyes sparkled. You got this just for me. Yeah, eat it while it's warm. She took the oatmeal and ate it in small spoonfuls, stealing glances at me every so often. What are you looking at? I asked. You look so handsome when you're taking care of someone, she said, blushing. I was just thinking, I wish it could be like this forever. I was silent for a moment, then said, Chloe, let's end the trial period early. Chloe's hand trembled, and the spoon fell into the bowl with a clatter. WH, what does that mean? Are you firing me? Her voice was thick with impending tears. I shook my head and reached out to wipe a smudge of oatmeal from the corner of her mouth. I mean, you're promoted. Chloe stared at me, her eyes as round and wide as a startled hamster's. Really? Yeah, I said, feeling a little embarrassed myself. I've been thinking. You're a total pain in the ass sometimes, but... Before I could finish, she launched herself at me, nearly knocking the oatmeal over. Ash, I love you so much. Careful, you're still sick, I said, catching her. She tilted her head back, her eyes shining. So does this mean I can be openly jealous now? Can I declare my sovereignty? Can I know? I cut her off. Getting promoted doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. She pouted, but then a sly grin spread across her face. That's okay. I'll just have to train you properly. Who's training whom here? I'm training you, of course, she said proudly. Look, you've already accepted me. The next step is getting you used to my possessiveness, and then... I covered her mouth with my hand. Just shut up and eat your oatmeal. She kissed my palm and grinned like a cat that got the cream. A month after making it official, I can confirm one thing. A Yandra's possessiveness does not diminish upon promotion. It intensifies. Ash, here's your love lunch for the day. At lunchtime, Chloe pushed an elaborate bento box in front of me. The rice was shaped into a heart, and she'd carved Asher's into a slice of carrot. I glanced at the amused faces of my friends around us and lowered my voice. Chloe, can you please not go so over the top all the time? She tilted her head, the picture of innocence. What's over the top? It's perfectly normal for a girlfriend to make her boyfriend lunch. Normal lunches don't have the boyfriend's name carved into the vegetables. But that's what makes it special, she said, then leaned in close. And it lets everyone know that you're mine. The warm breath on my ear made my heart skip a beat. I had to admit, while her antics were often mortifying, this feeling of being so completely and utterly loved wasn't bad. Oh, Chloe dug in her bag. This is for you. She handed me a keychain. It was a handmade felt charm, sort of lumpy and misshapen, but I could just make out the figures of two hamsters snuggled together. Is this? Nibbles and Squeaky. Yep, I made them based on a photo I took, she said, her eyes sparkling. This way, every time you see your keys, you'll think of me. I squeezed the lopsided little charm, a warm feeling spreading through me. Thanks. You're welcome, she beamed, then remembered something else. Oh, I almost forgot. She pulled out another, identical keychain. This one's mine. They're a matching set. I looked at her keychain, which was noticeably better made. How come hers looks so much better than mine? She stuck her tongue out. Because the first one was a failed attempt. But failed attempts have more sentimental value. Whatever makes you happy. Just then my phone buzzed. It was a FaceTime request from Chloe's mom. It's my mom. Chloe looked at me in a panic. What do I do? She doesn't know we're together. Then answer it, I said. What's there to hide? Chloe bit her lip and answered the call. Hey, Mom. Chloe. Honey, I miss you so much. Her mom's enthusiastic voice came through the speaker. Hey, are you having lunch with Asher? Chloe's face instantly turned beet red. Yeah. Her mom's eyes lit up. You two are finally together. Hi, Mrs. Bennett, I said politely, only to be completely floored by her next sentence. Asher, honey, when are you going to start calling me Mom? Mom, Chloe shrieked, nearly dropping the phone. Stop saying crazy things. Mrs. Bennett just laughed. What's so crazy? You two have been engaged since you were kids. Getting together now is just following the plan. Engaged? My eyes went wide. What engagement? Chloe frantically ended the call. She's just joking. Don't take her seriously, Ash. But I had already seized on the key word. Chloe, is there something you're not telling me? She looked down, twisting the hem of her shirt. After a long moment, she mumbled, "When we were 6, you said you were going to marry me." When did I? I started to say, but then the memory came flooding back. It was the summer we turned 6. Chloe was being picked on by some neighborhood kids. I chased them off and, in a grand gesture, gave her the pull tab from my can of soda as a ring, telling her, "Now, they won't bully you anymore. I'll protect you from now on." You haven't been holding on to that all this time, have you? From the deepest corner of her wallet, Chloe pulled out a tiny plastic baggie. Inside was the now tarnished, blackened aluminum pull tab. "I've kept it with me always," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "It was the first promise you ever made me." I was speechless. A silly, childish game, and she had taken it as gospel for all these years. Looking at that faded piece of aluminum, I finally understood the depth of her obsession. In her mind, we were already fated to be together. "You idiot." I ruffled her hair, my own voice a little thick. "Why wouldn't you keep something so important in a safer place?" She looked up, her eyes shining. "Ash, you remember?" "Yeah, I remember," I said softly, even if it was just kids playing house. "It wasn't a game," she insisted, her voice rising with emotion. "Not to me. From that day on, I decided I would marry you and no one else." Her gaze was so intense, I couldn't meet it. I looked down at the soda tab. "I'll take responsibility for you," I said quietly. "Really?" She threw her arms around me. "You promise? No takebacks." "No takebacks." I chuckled, a feeling of peaceful certainty settling over me. Just then, a clear, masculine voice came from behind us. "Chloe, fancy seeing you here." We turned to see a tall, athletic-looking guy. He was handsome in that sunny, quarterback kind of way. Chloe's posture immediately stiffened. Jake." "And this is?" the guy asked, looking at me with a friendly smile. "My boyfriend, Asher," Chloe said, her voice an octave higher than usual as she locked her arm firmly with mine. The guy's smile faltered for a split second. "Hey man, I'm Jake, captain of the basketball team. I'm on the student activities board with Chloe." I nodded. "Hey." Jake turned back to Chloe. "About the plans for the spring formal, we still need to finalize the theme. Are you free this afternoon?" "Oh." Chloe glanced at me nervously. "I have class." "No worries. We can meet tonight," Jake said with an easygoing grin. "I know this great new dessert place that just opened up downtown. I heard you like strawberry cheesecake." I narrowed my eyes. Was this guy seriously asking my girlfriend out right in front of me? Chloe seemed to sense my mood darkening. "No, thanks. We could just figure out the plan in the group chat." Jake shrugged. "All right, suit yourself. Talk later." He nodded at me. "Nice to meet you, Asher." The moment he was gone, Chloe spun toward me. "Ash, I swear, I barely know him. He just transferred to our committee last week." I took a slow sip of my water. "Okay. Are you mad?" she asked timidly. "Nope," I said, setting my cup down. "But how did he know you like strawberry cheesecake?" She wrung her hands. "I might have mentioned it at a committee dinner last week." "Oh," I drew the word out. "Sounds like you two had a nice chat." Suddenly, Chloe's eyes lit up. "Ash, are you jealous?" "Don't be ridiculous," I sputtered. "You are. You're jealous," she said, leaning in excitedly. "I never knew you could get jealous. This makes me so happy." I pushed her advancing face away. "You're delusional." But I couldn't deny it. Seeing some other guy trying to flirt with Chloe, it really pissed me off. So this is what jealousy felt like. No wonder she was always. Friday night, Chloe told me she had a late meeting for the activities board. I didn't think much of it until I was walking past the campus main gate and saw Jake pulling away from the curb, with Chloe in the passenger seat. I froze on the sidewalk, a hot surge of anger rising in my chest. My logical brain told me to trust her, but my gut wanted to chase down the car and drag Jake out of it. Is this what she felt like all those times? At 9 p.m., I got a text. "Ash, I'm back. Are you in your room?" I stared at the message for a long time before replying with a single word. "Yeah." 5 minutes later, a breathless Chloe was standing at the bottom of my dorm building. "Ash, I brought you a late-night snack." I went down to meet her. She was holding a bag with pizza and milkshakes. Her cheeks flushed. "How was the meeting?" I asked casually. "Oh, it was fine," she said, her eyes darting away. "Just the usual stuff." I stared at her for a few seconds before saying, "Is Jake a safe driver?" The bag in Chloe's hands dropped to the ground. "Ash, you saw." "I did. I can explain," she said, scrambling to pick things up. "We were supposed to have a meeting, but it got canceled last minute. Jake offered me a ride back, and I was going to say no, but what? But he said he was driving past that new bakery downtown, the one with those cronits you love." Her voice trailed off. "I wanted to surprise you." I froze. "Cronits?" Chloe pulled a small box out of her purse. Inside were 2 perfectly glazed cronits from my favorite bakery, still slightly warm. I know I shouldn't have gotten in his car, but I really just wanted to get these for you." Her eyes were red. "I'm so sorry, Ash." Looking at her, my anger evaporated. I sighed and took the box from her. "Next time you want something, just tell me. I'll take you." She looked up, her eyes shining. "You're not mad anymore?" "I am," I said, pinching her cheek. "But since you were thinking of me, I'll forgive you. This one time." She immediately threw her arms around me. "You're the best, Ash. I promise. There will never be a next time." I held her close, a terrifying thought dawning on me. I was becoming more and more like the old Chloe. This possessive, easily jealous Asher. Was that still me? But then again, maybe this is just what love is. When you truly care about someone, possessiveness and jealousy are natural. The trick is learning how to control it, so it doesn't destroy what you have. That weekend, I took Chloe home to meet my parents. The moment we walked in the door, my mom enveloped her in a hug. "Chloe, sweetie, we've missed you so much." "Hi, Mrs. Cole," Chloe said with a sweet smile, handing my mom a gift bag. "I baked some cookies for you." "Oh, you're such a dear." My mom was beaming. She shot a glare at me. "See? Chloe is so thoughtful. Unlike you, who only comes home to eat our food." I was starting to question who the biological child was. At dinner, my dad suddenly asked, "So, when are you two getting married?" I almost choked on my soup. "Dad, we just started dating." "Just started?" my dad asked, looking incredulous. "You two have been joined at the hip since you were toddlers." "Exactly," my mom chimed in. "Chloe's been saying she was going to marry Asher since she was 6. Right, sweetie?" Chloe blushed and stared intently at her plate, refusing to look at me. "Mom," I said, exasperated. "That was just kids playing around." "Playing around?" My mom gave me a mysterious smile. "Then take a look at this." She went to the study and came back with an old photo album, flipping it open to a specific page. There was a photo of 6-year-old me, solemnly placing a soda can pull tab on 6-year-old Chloe's finger. We were both grinning like little idiots. I was speechless. "You were so serious about it," my mom said, smiling at the memory. "You said when you grew up, you were definitely going to marry Chloe. And she took it so seriously she kept that pull tab for years." I looked at Chloe. Her ears were practically glowing. She mumbled, "I lost it eventually." "No, you didn't," I called her out. "It's still in your wallet." Chloe's head snapped up, her eyes wide. "How did you?" "I saw it the other day," I said with a sigh. "You're such a dork, taking kid stuff so seriously." "It wasn't kid stuff," Chloe suddenly blurted out, her voice thick with emotion. "It might have been a joke to you, Ash, but to me," her voice broke. "It was the most important promise in the world." The table went silent. I looked at Chloe's tear-filled eyes, and my heart felt like it was being squeezed. "You goofball," I said softly, reaching across the table to wipe a tear from her cheek. My mom was already dabbing at her own eyes. "Honey," she said to my dad, "I think it's time we start looking at engagement rings." "Mom," Chloe and I yelled in unison, then looked at each other and burst out laughing. On the drive back to her place, Chloe was quiet, staring out the window. As we walked through the park in her neighborhood, I grabbed her hand. "Chloe, look over there." She followed my gaze to the giant oak tree we used to climb as kids. "Remember, when we were 7, you fell out of that tree, and I had to carry you to the doctor?" Chloe nodded, her eyes lighting up. "I remember. You said that if I got better, you'd be my knight in shining armor forever." I laughed. "Did I really say that?" "You did," she insisted. "I remember it perfectly." I looked in her shining eyes, and then I dropped to one knee, pulling a small box from my pocket. Chloe gasped, freezing on the spot. Chloe Bennett, I said, opening the box to reveal a simple diamond ring. I might not remember everything I said as a kid, but I know exactly what I want right now. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down her face. She clamped a hand over her mouth, unable to speak, and just nodded frantically. I stood up and slid the ring onto her finger. She collapsed into my arms, sobbing like a child. Ash, I'm so happy. I held her tight. I'm sorry it took me so long. It was worth it, she cried into my shoulder. Waiting for you is always worth it. Just then, a voice broke the perfect moment. Whoa, am I interrupting something? We turned to see Jake, holding a bouquet of flowers. Chloe instinctively shrank behind me. Jake, what are you doing here? Jake looked at the ring on Chloe's hand, then back at me, and a slow grin spread across his face. Looks like I'm a little late to the party. He handed the bouquet to me. Congratulations. Consider these a wedding gift. I took the flowers a little confused. Thanks, but what are you doing here? I live in this neighborhood. Jake shrugged. Just moved in today. What a coincidence. He sighed dramatically. So I guess this means I really don't have a chance, huh? Chloe hugged my arm tightly. I've always been Ash's. Jake laughed. Just kidding, you too. I'm happy for you. He gave a casual wave and walked off toward one of the nearby apartment buildings. Chloe and I looked at each other, then burst out laughing. Ash, yeah, I love you. I know. That's it, she pouted. I tell you I love you, and that's all I get. I smiled, leaned down, and kissed her. Is that a better response? She blushed, her eyes sparkling like stars. Can we do it again? You're a greedy one. Under the setting sun, our shadows stretched out long behind us, just like the life we were about to start together.